For application, I like to use a fine microfiber cloth. You can dilute NanoSeal up to 20% on the first coat, especially if you don't use a primer. You may have to do that. Here we used a primer, so we should be okay. I wring most of the NanoSeal out of the rag. And this method was taught to me by one of our fabricators. I put pressure on the center of the rag. I work it in circles like so. Putting very thin coats down. That's it. The first coat may need a buffer, but after that they go on a lot easier. That'll take probably 15-20 minutes to flash off. What you can do is, as you're working throughout the day, stop back, put another coat on, put another coat on, and just mark the number of coats. Put on thin like this, we know they're going to cure properly, no question about it. And if you're having trouble with streaks, like I said, you can dilute it. Start with a 10% dilution with water and see if you can get rid of your streaks that way. Then put it on nice and thin, get off of it right away, let it cure out. It's been about 15 minutes since I put the first coat on, and you'll visually see that it's dry, and you'll feel that it's dry. So you can start putting another coat on. I keep the coat count up here. So again, I wring the rag out well. Put the rag down, put pressure on the center of the rag, and work your way back in concentric circles. Your later coats will be even thinner. That's it, get off of it quick. If I were to mess with that anymore, I'd start to get terrible pulls because it'll get sticky quick. We recommend minimum 5 coats. If you walk by during the day, wring your rag out real good. You can put really thin ones on later. You can put 10 on if you wanted to. It won't hurt a damn thing. I would say 4 coats, 5 coats minimum, and then test. It's been about a half hour since I put coat 2 on, and I can feel some dust bunnies. Now, you don't want to get aggressive taking dust bunnies off. This is a piece of a 1500. I'm going to use a real light touch. Hardly any pressure at all. I can feel the whole piece has become smooth again. I've still got a bunch of coats to go. The key here is you don't want to remove material, you just want to remove any projections. The longer you wait, the safer it is, but you can do it with a light touch. Now we're on to coat 3. So again, I'll wring the rag out fairly well. And I'll try to get all the drips off of my gloves so I don't drip onto the piece. And use a soft touch with the rag. Wipe it down and get off of it. If it seems like it's too sticky and it's pulling too much, you can, like I said, dilute the NanoSeal up to 20% with water. I would try it at 10% first, then try 20. What that means is you'll need more coats because you're diluting it, and it's going to take longer between coats. But it may make the application process easier for you. Now this is something everyone should do, is their own stain testing on their sealer. This is a day-old piece. I wrote what we did. We used the primer, we rolled it on, sand with 400 grit, NanoSeal. This particular piece got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 real thin coats. Day one, we're going to put coffee, wine, white vinegar, lemon juice, and water to test for blush resistance. Then we're going to do the same thing day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. It's important that you do this because your concrete's going to be different than mine. Water will tell you blush resistance. I would expect water to get through this, but it's only a day old. We'll see. Coffee. Coffee's a mild acid. We'll leave it on there 24 hours. Or, if you want to find out how long it'll do it, you can leave it on for 6 hours, see if it'll wipe off. Wine.
You always have a little CCR in the background. Absolutely.
Lemon juice.
Yeah, we don't want to put teenagers, that's where you respond at all.
And white vinegar. Put it on there. Walk away. It's been about 3 hours since we put the staining agents on day one, so probably less than 24 hours old. What you can do is move them back and see if it's affecting the surface. You can see the water's darkening a little bit. Lemon juice is actually starting to dry. The white vinegar is affecting it a little bit. But as you get farther down, you'll know how many hours of resistance you have. Obviously, day one, we don't expect full resistance, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good for a less than 24-hour-old sealer. It'll only get better as we go on. It's important to do this so you test your concrete with the sealer you're using at ages. That way you have an idea of what it's doing.